Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Monroe Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting for February 15th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll next call the roll, starting on my right.
Dominic Smergalino, alternate commissioner.
Dominic Panitia, also commission.
Ryan Condon, Commissioner.
Bruno Maini, commissioner.
Robert Westland, Commissioner.
Nicole Lupo, alternate commissioner.
Kevin Gallagher, Planning and Zoning Administrator.
You're going to time.
Sarah Stroud, Recording Secretary.
Thank you. Next, we'll go on to general public participation. Is there anyone here that would like to address the commission on any issues that are not before the commission? If anyone online has any
Only here.
interest in that, please raise your hand.
It's only solely.
General participation, anyone interested? Raise your hand. Seeing none, we'll move on to our first and only public hearing.
Can I ask,
More?
can I ask, to have the board vote, on 2 changes to the agenda?
Tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Agenda. So we can do it at this meeting, but it has to be 2/3 of a vote.
Okay,
So the first item is to remove the request, for a surety bond for 1565 Monroe Turnpike. They made the request. We went out to visit the site. There's unfortunately just a couple more things we need to work through with them. And so we requested that be removed from tonight's agenda.
all right. I have a motion to remove the request for bond.
Second.
And a second. We'll call the roll, starting on my right.
Condon, yes.
O'Reilly, yes?
Maini, yes.
Westland, yes.
Okay, then it passes. We're going to remove that from the agenda. What else?
And then the second item I would be is to put on the approval of the January 18th, 2024 meeting minutes to the end of the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, call the roll on my right.
Condon, yes.
O'Reilly, yes?
Maini, yes.
Westland, yes.
Okay, that passes. We're gonna hold the minutes to the end of the meeting. Was that,
Those are the 2, right?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
moving along, let's start with our first public hearing. SCB 2023-04, 127 Main Street. This is continued from 1/18/24. We have for the applicant.
Good evening, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Kevin Soley. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Connecticut with Soley Engineering. Office is located right here in Monroe at 501 Main Street. So Commissioner may recall, this is a simple subdivision application to essentially divide the property on 170 Main Street into separate parcels. We've gone through actually a couple public hearings. We presented what our proposal was. We left it open last just to make sure we had adequate time to address all the comments raised from staff. I think in your file, you should have an updated letter from James DeMayo, the town engineer. I think we've satisfied all of his comments and concerns, and I think at this point, we'd respectfully request the commission close this hearing and act on the application.
Thank you very much. The members of the public here tonight would like to comment on this application. I don't see anyone. Anybody online tonight would like to comment on this application? Okay, if not, commissioners, starting on my right.
Yeah, I'd be okay to close it.
Okay,
Second.
we're not there yet.
Nice. Can you tell them?
No questions.
No questions. I'm
Questions? Okay.
paying attention.
All right, so it looks, all right, well then we'll hereby close this application. Then we can go right into deliberations.
I mean, just like,
Kathleen.
You're next on my list. to speak.
am I next? All right, I'll wait my
Not
turn.
give her the gavel.
I'll wait my turn.
All right, well, we're going to go into.
Is it my turn now? All right. As was mentioned, the town engineer's comments have been satisfied with the exception of just creating one final document that has everything together summarized so that we can have that in the staff. Please note, there is no bond required for this. We're kind of doing this backwards in the sense that they already got their SEP approval, so all their bonds were part of the previous applications. We are okay if the commission deliberates tonight, but I would ask that you allow us to draft the resolution prior to the next meeting. I have a draft of the draft. It's just at legal at this time because there is a lot of easements and a lot of deeds that we need to work through exactly what that list is, because this is a pretty complicated project. And we want to make sure we understand what's required from the applicant prior to zoning compliance, prior to zoning completion, and just to make sure that the resolution outlines that properly.
So then, we've closed the hearing. We have finished deliberations. I think is everybody, leaning towards an approval?
Yes.
All right, then we're gonna direct Kathleen to draft an approval, for the official vote at, our next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
Not at this time.
All right, I have nothing to report. We do have, the minutes from January 18th meeting. Everyone has that before them.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 18th minutes as drafted.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
Second motion and a second for a motion by Condon and a second by Mayini to approve the minutes of the January 18th, 2024 regular meeting. Any discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, then we'll call the roll, starting on the right.
Condon, yes.
O'Reilly, yes.
Mayne, yes.
Westland, yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Minutes of January 18th have been approved.
Good job, Kevin.
Thanks for being quick.
So what we do have is a bunch of applications for next, 2 weeks from now.
Correct. So
Let's just quickly go over them so everybody can start being familiar with them. The first one is the town of Monroe, which we're all familiar with already. That's a subdivision to divide off the property in front of St. Jude for town use. Second one is go ahead.
second one's 12. So first off, St. Jude is currently under review at the health department at the moment. That's why it wasn't on for tonight's agenda. They're still reviewing some potential issues with the way that the septic is currently configured. 1271 Monroe Turnpike is the permanent approval for the modification for a proposed increase in construction of detached single-family units from 19 to 25 at the age-restricted development. So the Ridge at Monroe previously came in front of the commission, granted an approval for 19 units. They are requesting that to be up to 25. They were on the agenda last night for wetlands. And they will be going through that process and simultaneously going through this as well. And that is on for public hearing for March 7th. The next item is 205 Spring Hill Road. That's a new application. It's for an industrial warehouse facility. 205 Spring Hill Road actually spans the border between Monroe and Trumbull. So half the property is in Monroe and half the property is in Trumbull. So it's a little bit of a unique lot when we see it. Access will actually be from the Trumbull side. There's an existing building in the front of the property, and then they're looking to develop an industrial warehouse in the rear of the property. So there'll be some things that will go through Trumbull, such as they have the opportunity to go on Trumbull sewer system, things of that nature. So it's definitely a little bit of a unique application that is on for a public hearing for 3/21. And they also have to go through wetlands that are actually manipulating a wetland first water basin. So they'll be going through that process, parallel processing. The next item is 515, 517 Main Street. The commission previously granted the SD number 5 for the self-storage facility and basically heard the site development plan. Due to procedural clarification that we got from legal, they were not able to actually submit a site development plan. So they withdrew that application and they're now coming in with a special exception permit application. The majority of our comments have already been addressed. They have a couple outstanding ones that we hope to get before the public hearing on 3/7. But the majority of that review has already been done and already been discussed. However, for the public's knowledge, there will be another public hearing as part of the special exception permit where they can specifically talk about things like screening of that nature, and we can make sure that those items are a condition of the approval. And then the last 3 items are really just one together. So this list looks bad, but it's really not as bad as it is. So 269 Purdy Hill Road. Purdy Hill Road was a previous approval for an age-restricted development. Basically what they did, if you remember the application is in order to get the 10-acre requirements for age restricted, they bought 272 or 266, I forget the address of the main parcel, and then bought 269, which was a single family residence. Because of the requirements for septic, they had to demolish the single family home. And then that's how they both got their 10 acres and the availability for septic. They have built everything except for the last 3 units. The last 3 units are built. They just don't have COs associated with them because previously they weren't able to get on these septic. I believe the regulations have changed and now they have the ability to do that. But what they want to do is subdivide the single family home again. So they're coming in for a subdivision to subdivide that off, which is then generates a zone boundary change because they're going to put the single family home back into a residential district and just keep the age restricted residential district. And then a modification to the plan because their setbacks have changed and things of that nature. It's actually a pretty simple application, even though it looks complicated as having 3 different ones. They're going to present it as one
Can
application.
we do that?
Hmm?
Can we do it all at once?
You're still going to have to vote on each
I
item,
mean,
but from a public hearing perspective, I don't think there's an
the
issue. with
SDT,
hearing
we
it.
couldn't hear at the same time as the SCP.
Everything has to do with the other, so I think it's,
These are all linked.
yeah, everything is tied together. It would be hard to hear one without hearing all the others. And that's it.
I think we're all familiar with that one, that just to save that one house.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's it. Do you have anything else?
Just a friendly reminder, Turkey Roost is a special meeting for March 12th at 7 PM. It's a continuation of the public hearing. We continue to get information from the applicant and the consultants. That information can be found on the meeting packets tab on the town website for anyone in the public. Today was our zoning and wetland enforcement officer's last day. We have hired a new wetland and zoning
Oh, you did?
enforcement officer. They will be
Great.
starting in March, so we just ask for a little patience by everybody as we do another staff transition, as we get him up to speed.
Yeah, I believe. It's the same one we've been speaking about, right?
Yes.
So, yes.
Nice.
Thank you to the commission for completing your 2023 training. We gave that satisfaction of report requirement for the general statutes to town council. So they should have that for the next town council meeting. And that is it at this time.
Do we need a subcommittee meeting?
No.
We don't have any requests by applicants for a subcommittee meeting at this
Crazy.
time. I would ask that as I am currently planning and zoning and wetland enforcement and zoning enforcement, that I just have a little bit on my plate. If we could just skip it for this month, I would be greatly appreciative.
I guess we could do that.
All right, good. Then, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion by Mayini, a second by Condon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Was unanimous.